I have a problem. A few months ago, during a conversation with my wonderful manager, I had an epiphany. I told her that I tend to date a lot of losers, and she told me I could see that makes sense. She didn't mean any offense by it, it was just a very matter-of-fact statement. But that got me thinking, what is it about me that screams, I date losers? How do I change this narrative? Is this a pattern perpetuated by the thought that dating losers is just something I do? Does this thought pattern attract more losers? Am I doomed to this cycle? One thing about me is I'm a fixer. It's in my blood and nature, and of course this is a natural progression that leads to dating losers. I am now at a crossroad. An impasse. Either I shrug my shoulders and give in to the fact that this is just how my life is gonna be, or I can get to the bottom of why I date people that are not good for me and how I can finally break this pattern. I'm 23 years old. I'm still young, but I think that I'm getting too old to continue to date emotionally unavailable men and women. So here we are. First, let's talk about what defines a loser in a relationship. A loser is someone who puts their needs and feelings over yours every single time. There is no us for them. The relationship is not equal in their eyes. Maybe you have to beg and plead that they will text you back, that they will write a card for your birthday, that they will finally plan a thoughtful date for once. Oftentimes, their relationship will make you feel crazy or needy or like you're asking for too much. Sometimes they will say these things directly to your face, so there's no room for misinterpretation of their intentions. The thing with losers is that they will breadcrumb you. They will wait until you're at the end of your rope and they will reel you back in. Maybe they'll post you on Instagram or buy you pity flowers. The bottom line is that they suck. They're not good people to be in relationships with. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's take a brief look at my dating history for some necessary context and insight. I didn't really receive any sort of romantic attention until I was an adult, but that didn't stop me from harboring crushes on people who wanted nothing to do with me. I was a weird kid, and I was an ugly kid.
What the hell?
And that combination meant that boys were just not interested in me growing up. In fact, they would actively avoid me. So, this of course led to low self-esteem, which led to me believing that I wasn't worthy of any romantic attention. This was a really nasty cycle for me to fall into because it just reinforced these deep, dark, rooted fears that I had about myself. When I did finally start to date as an adult, I would find myself attracted to people who didn't like me back in the way that I liked them or didn't want me in the way that I wanted them. I usually chose emotionally unavailable partners. My first few relationships weren't really relationships at all. They were what we classify now as situationships, which are evil, and I touched on in my last video. It was these one-sided, fleeting romantic encounters. Usually they would last months, but it was never an official relationship because the people that I was involved with didn't want that with me. That was so hurtful because I would beg and I would plead for this person to want to be with me in that way, and then we would stop seeing each other and they would get into a relationship with the next person. But these are not people that I want to be in a relationship with. People that don't value me as a person are losers. Sorry, that's what it comes down to. I didn't have my first real adult relationship until 2022. I was dating this guy for about a year, and we broke up and got back together 3 times in the span of a year. That is insane. That is so not normal and so not good. He might watch this video, so I'm not gonna deep dive into the dynamic of our relationship, but I will tell you he was not a good partner for me. I had to beg for everything in our relationship. I planned 97% of our dates that we went on in the year that we were together. I planned our Valentine's Day. On his birthday, I planned his birthday party. I invited everyone. I hosted them. I wrote him a multiple page card. On my birthday, he invited a girl that he used to hook up with. Like, what the fuck? And he didn't get me a card.
Be nice. I'm finding it
It take you that long to find it?
It does.
That is not the point. The point is that is a loser. That is an example of a loser. I'm done dating them. I'm sick of it. I'm so tired of it. I had probably 4 situationships over the course of a 12-month period before I started dating my ex-boyfriend, because my self-esteem was just so low that I kept falling in with these people who didn't really want me but wanted something from me. Whoa. So, how do we stop this? How do we prevent losers from infiltrating our lives and making them a living hell? Self-worth. Listen, I know that it's never as simple as that, but that's a pretty good start. If you can raise your self-esteem, you won't feel so drawn to losers because you won't feel so bad about yourself, and then you won't be craving that small amount of validation that they give you. I understand better than most that cycle of validation is so addicting. That push and pull is so addicting. Having someone breadcrumb you and love bomb you in the moment feels so good. And then they pull back and it's like, what the fuck just happened? And then they breadcrumb you again. And it's this cycle that's so hard to break. I have been with so many people who have just consumed my life and my thoughts. And a loser knows how to manipulate you in that way. I have decided that I'm taking a break from dating until further notice. I want to get my self-esteem up. I want to work on other relationships in my life, like my relationship with my family and friendships. Because if I'm investing time and energy into myself, I'm going to feel better about myself. I'm going to feel like I have self-worth. And then I won't be chasing these people who aren't good for me and aren't going to treat me right. I'm going to pick up more hobbies. I'm going to journal more. I'm going to continue to go to therapy. I'm going to go on walks outside. I'm going to take myself on dates to things I want to do, places I want to go. And I'm not going to let losers infiltrate my life anymore. They are soul-sucking. They are evil. If you are dealing with loser men, here is something that I implore you to do. If you have just gotten out of a situationship or out of a relationship with a loser, do not reach out to them. Block them on all social media. If you feel the need to text them, write down what you want to say to them, or send it to one of your loved ones. After I broke up with my loser ex-boyfriend, every time I wanted to text him, I texted my mom instead. I understand that's not the case for everyone. You know, some people don't have good relationships with their moms. I feel grateful that I do, but that worked for me. Anytime I wanted to reach out to him, I would just text her instead. I also got a job where I was working outside for 60 hours a week, basically. That helped too, because I didn't have time to text him, I didn't have time to think about him, I didn't have time to date. I have been loser-free for over a year. Over a year. That is the most I can say since I was probably 18 or 19 years old. That's crazy. I'm not the type of person that jumps from relationship to relationship either, but a year is the longest I have gone loser-free since I was 18 or 19 years old. That is something to celebrate. I don't really have anything else to say. 2025 is the year of self-empowerment and being a sexy woman who doesn't need a loser. And I stand by that. I hope you guys enjoyed. I implore you to ditch the losers in your life. Make a step-by-step for yourself. Journal. Write down what you want in a partner. That's helped me as well in not choosing people who are bad for me in the last year, because I've really stuck to my list of what I want in a partner. I can insert a copy of mine in the description below if you'd like to check it out. It's literally just what I'm looking for in a partner. Love you guys. Bye! And I stand by that.